Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Cari Mugz. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello and welcome to this episode of Spunky Spirit. I am psychic medium Cari Mugz, and this week we are going to talk about the Chinese New Year and the Year of the Snake. So first of all, I want to say though, we are kind of changing the schedule. My podcast will come out every other week instead of every week, just because I want to be able to do more research for them. I just feel like every week they come up so fast, and I just feel like I'm going off the cuff, and I want to be able to find, quality content for you and research the stuff and find interviewers that instead of just like, I just feel like so rushed every week to try and get it together. So I feel like if I have every other week, I can give you better content. And also too, for those of you watching, you'll see my notes because I want to research things and take notes and give you, and not just tell you what I know from what I've experienced. So sometimes I'll still do those, but most of the time I want to give you great content and explain to you certain things and be able to research it and get different ideas for you. So we will probably be going every other week until I can, get more help with that or get more interviews. Eventually I do want to start doing, somehow doing call-in lives on the opposite weeks, but we're trying to figure that out, and I'm trying to figure out how to work that out. So this week we're talking about the Chinese New Year and the Year of the Snake, because there's so much symbolism and so much spirituality in this, and so I just totally wanted to talk about it. And the Chinese New Year is on January 29th, so it's like a month after ours, and I just think that it's so great because it has so much spiritualism, and it has usually we have the 12 different, we have Sagittarius, Aquarius, Taurus, things like that. They have these different animals, and I love animals and I love the symbolism of the animals. And so their 12 elements, or their 12 animals that consist of the Chinese New Year's, they change every year. So every 12 years, it's a different animal. So ours goes by month, theirs goes by years. I don't even know if you want to compare the two, but I just kind of feel like it's different. So every 12 years, it's a different animal, or every year it's a different animal, and there's 12 different animals. And the animals are a rat, a ox, a tiger, a rabbit, a dragon, a snake, a horse, a goat, a monkey, a rooster, a dog, and a pig. And we talked about dragons last week. I find it really interesting that all of these are real animals except for the dragon, which makes me wonder if the dragon did exist at one time. We talked about that my last podcast episode. So the Year of the Snake is symbolism of personal growth and transformation. And that's why you see the snake, they shed their skin, because it's an individual thing. It doesn't matter what's going on around them. It matters what's going on inside them, and it's a personal transformation. So this is a really big year about like the chaos around you, just focusing what's going on inside of you and changing inside of you. And a lot of times the snake gets a bad rap because we always think that snakes are evil because of the whole Adam and Eve thing, when in reality it's about transformation, so much transformation and healing. That's why a lot of the medical symbols have the symbol of a snake. If you've seen those crosses or that sword with the snake around it for the medical symbol, I don't think it's a sword, but it's like a medical staff with the snakes around it, because they're for healing. And I kind of believe that, the whole Bible, Adam and Eve part, that was a huge transformation, and that was a huge change for the earth at that time, right? And that's what it's symbolizing. And I also too believe that snakes get a bad rap because that people think that they're evil, and they're not. They're just a lot of times snakes, have change, and we always get nervous of change. And so they kind of get a bad rap sometimes, when actually they're very beautiful and very symbolic, and they symbolize lots of wisdom and growth. And people don't like growth. That's out of their comfort zone. They They don't like to grow because they think that, or change, because to grow there has to be change, and change is always hard, or we always think it's going to be hard, but sometimes it's a lot easier than we think it's going to be. The snake also symbolizes intelligence, mystery, and renewal, of course, because they're very, very smart. I remember, okay, do you guys remember? I think it was this, when I was little, when there was a snake story called Ricky Tikki Timbo, No Sa Rimbo, Cherry Berry Pit, whatever that was. And the snake was like, that always scared me. Was it, I think it was a snake that was going to eat the kid, and the kid, like, this, I don't even remember, but if you remember that, that just probably aged me. But I'm going to look that up after this. They also represent calmness, introspection, and wisdom. Always, always wisdom. Snakes are very, very considered to be very, very smart. Now, the year of the snakes have always been in 1941, 1953, 1977, 1989, 2001, 2013, and 2025. So people born in those years, they're the types of people that will do whatever it takes to reach their goals. They're very determined, very high determined people, and very, very much goal accomplished or goal setters. And so it kind of represents this year, or if you're born in one of those years, letting go, letting go, shedding your ego, shedding the old, entering the new, letting go of the past anger, past loves, past any type of past pain, letting go and starting anew. So that's what this year is going to be, a big, huge year of transformation, a big, huge year of change. And that's probably why it started off so crazily, just chaotic and crazy, just so many changes right at the very beginning, and so many different things. And it's kind of, but January always starts off like that. It's almost like January always starts out with a bang and just continues to be like craziness. But just know that this is going to be a year of transformation, it for the collective and for yourself. Just all these different spiritual changes, spiritual growth, and people don't like changes. And so that's kind of like, some people feel like they have to fight it. Most of the changes are going to be inner work, but you have to think of this too. The earth is spirit, Gaia. And so there's going to be inner work around the earth too. And we're all going to be part of that. And it's going to focus. So what goes on around us also goes on inside of us. And so whatever, all the chaos and stuff that's going on around the earth, it's also going to kind of affect us, what's going on inside of us, our spiritual growth. So it will be a big year for the earth, transformation for the earth, and transformation for us as personal, as for our personal things. The story of how the snake got put in the Chinese New Year is the snake had four legs, which is kind of crazy to me, because if you picture a snake with four legs, it would be like a dragon, right? But the snake had four legs, and it was a pretty happy creature, but it was isolated by its appearance. And when I read this, it kind of reminded me of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. All the other animals would make fun of it. And so it would get angry and sad, and it would lash out. It would get mad. And it blamed the Jade Emperor at the time for creating it to be ugly. And so the snake's anger morphed into physical changes, which is it got fangs, because it would lash out. It would lash out at all the animals all the time. So it started to get fangs. So the Jade Emperor heard of this and was upset that the snake was mad. So the emperor took his legs away. So he grew fangs, and he has no legs. And so he was super sad and upset. So whoever the heavenly being was, not the emperor, but the heavenly person, so this would be the universe or God, promised, the heavenly creator promised the snake that if the snake won a race against all the other animals, that he could win a prize. And so the snake thought that this was to win his legs back. So he entered the race, and he got sixth place. So the other animals that won, he got sixth place in the zodiac. So the rat, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, and the dragon all won before him, and then he got sixth place. So because he did such a great job, he didn't actually get his legs back, because his legs back because he was so fast and speedy, but he got sixth place in the Zodiac, which he loved that. And then he decided to learn how to control his anger. He was trying to transform himself and change and not be mad. And he was held at a higher standard because he was one of the animals in the Zodiac. So he tried to change. He made this interchange. He wouldn't get mad at the other animals. He tried not to snap at them. But sometimes he would lose control and he would snap at them. And so this is when he would shed his skin because he would feel like he needed to start over, or he needed to start his journey over, or he needed to kind of recollect what he's done. And so he would shed his skin and start anew. And so that's where the transformation comes out. And that's why sometimes it's okay to snap or to make mistakes, because you can always start over. There's always chance to start over. And that's kind of what this year symbolizes too, is this transformation and this starting over. And you can always become anew by shedding your old skin and releasing what doesn't releasing what does not work for you, and releasing all of the anxiety and the fear and all of that, and starting new. And that's what this story was about. So that's why the snake sheds his skin, is because he every time he snaps at another animal, he would get sad and he would release that skin and start anew. The snake is also regarded as being very observant, patient in chaos, which is perfect for this year, because we've already seen that it's crazy, like the fires and the airplanes and all of the political stuff that's going on. It's better to be observant. That's what the snake is observant. It's not absorbing, observing. And it's patient in chaos. The snake is patient in chaos, which is totally true. Like cobra snakes, they can just be like so patient and then strike at an instant. So be patient in the chaos. That's what this year is about. This year is about being patient and observing and letting it, like taking that pain or whatever that is and transforming it, alchemizing it into, and transferring it into something that works for you, and something that is more powerful for you, so you could step into that power. Because this year, obviously, the year of the snake, lots of changes are coming, lots significant changes, not just like little mediocre changes, like lots of significant changes, significant life changes, things that are life altering, which is, I know some people are kind of afraid of that, but don't be, because it's actually a good thing. Because without growth, without change, there is no growth, right? And I say this all the time. And sometimes we get so afraid of the changes, but when the changes come, they're like the absolute best thing in the world. And we're just like, oh my gosh, that was so much easier than I thought. Changes are so good for your growth. Now, because changes can cause anxiety, snakes embrace the change. They adapt to their environment. They embrace the change. They focus on caring. So focus on embracing the change, not letting it destroy you, and not letting it ruin you, and not letting it snap, not letting it make you snap and be mean and cause your fangs to come out, but let it embrace you, or embrace the change. It's kind of like the palm tree that I talk about. When an oak tree, when the winds come and blow, it can snap the oak tree, but when the winds come and blow, the palm tree can easily bend. So be like the snake and just embrace the changes, and don't let it make you hard, or change you to grow fangs, or to be mean, or to anger you. Make sure that you let it change you in a good way, and you be the alchemist of that, and you change that energy, transmute that energy to work for you and not against you. Transformation is a huge sign of the snake, and we've talked so much about that, but also healing. So this will be a healing year. So all these changes are actually going to help you heal and help you love. And if that's like, and help you love yourself, and help you love your past self, and help you love enough to not take anybody else's shit, right? Like that's what I'm like. That's what's been so big about this year so far, and it's only January, is that I love myself enough that I don't have to put up with people's crap. And if that's the biggest thing I learned this year, then that's the best thing, right? I'm telling you Therapy and boundaries are beautiful things, and it teaches you that you don't have to put up with anybody else's crap. And I was telling my therapist, sometimes I think that building boundaries make me bitchy, but in reality, it's just protecting your peace. And that's, if you're going to protect your peace this year, that's what you're going to do. That's what the snake is transforming to do, is protect your peace. Don't let this year make you angry and grow fangs and bite at people. Make sure that you are calm and you protect your peace, right? And just like a rattlesnake, if there's something coming that you feel like is not, that is giving you anxiety, shake the rattle, and so that thing will leave. You know what I mean? And if they don't leave, then you can strike, I guess. That's the analogy I'm trying to make, right? And rebirth. That's kind of what this year is about too, like new beginnings. That's why you shed your skin, you shed the old. This is a new rebirth year. It's to create a new, it's never too old, you're never too old or never too late to create somebody new. So if you don't like the way your life is, or you don't like who you've become, or you don't like where you're at, you can change. You create your life, and you can create whatever you want to create. And I think that the snake is a symbolism for you, to tell you that you can create whatever you want. And it's so crazy because, I mean, the snake is a symbolism of the very beginning with Adam and Eve, right? And creation. And so the snake very much symbolizes that you can create whatever it is that you want to create and how that looks for you. So the Orobus snake, I don't know if I said that right, Orobus snake, it will eat its own tail, which also symbolizes eternity, or symbolizes eternity. So the changes that you make now can affect you for eternity, or affect your whole life. So be really, careful about what you let into your life this year, and what you allow to change you, or what you allow to, what you allow in. So mostly, snakes are symbolic of healing, protection, wisdom, transformation. So it's going to be a big year, guys. This is the year of the snake. And so I just want you to embrace it. Embrace it, because change really is beautiful. And it takes time, right? It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen all year long, and it's going to happen in little tiny increments. If you were to tell me, last year I had lots of changes in my business. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the year all the changes, I would have had so much anxiety and so much stress about the end of the year. And in reality, the changes were a little bit at a time. It wasn't a whole big, huge. Sometimes changes can be huge, especially loss and things like that can change you in a moment. But most changes take a little bit of time. You're not just thrown into it. So it takes you some time to ease into it, and it does take a long time for a snake. It does take a while for a snake to shed its skin. So, and to start anew. So just know that this year's not going to be cruel in the fact that it's going to happen overnight. Some things might, and that's a possibility, and that's just how life is in any year, right? But this year, it's going to be a growth year for you, for sure. And I know that a lot of us are like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of growth, because like last year was the dragon, which is very similar to the snake. And the dragon is pretty, I talked about the dragon last episode, and the dragon is chaotic, and the dragon is very, very powerful. And last year, could have been the start of that, or could have been, lots of things that were chaotic also and powerful, and maybe you stepped into your power. And this year you're healing. Lots of chaos and lots of crazy things happened last year, and this year you're healing, and you're changing, and you're letting those changes change you for the better. What I want to preface, or what I want to make extremely clear, is I don't want this to cause fear and anxiety for you, right? Because every year has big changes. We look back, and that's not true. Some years we think, okay, this didn't have a lot of changes in it. But some years we look back and we're like, holy hell, that like changed so much of my life. And I have to be honest, since 2019, my life it seems like every year has just been crazier and crazier and crazier. But that's because I've set those goals, and I've set that I want to be powerful, and I want to set these goals. Back in the day when I didn't really, set goals and I just went to work every day 9 to 5, I didn't have lots of changes. It was just all kind of like I did the same thing every day. But then when I like really stepped into my power and decided to do this business and decided to step into my spirituality and I had my awakening, then every year has been so crazy and chaotic and growth. And I absolutely have loved every one of them, even though they've been hard. Some of them have been harder than others, but always, always welcomed. And my goal is to take that power and to take those changes and to transmute them into good energy and to help others and to help myself and to learn. I've learned so much this year. This year was the craziest year for me, and so much healing and so much growth and so much inward stuff. This year was a huge awakening this year for me, and there was a dark night of the soul for me this year, and lots of counseling and all of that, just trying to figure out who I am and how to protect my peace. And so this year's like totally stepping into that power and creating that. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens for you this year. Just know that, remember to absorb, not to absorb, just to observe, and to focus on yourself. So focus on because there's just so much around us we can't focus on and we can't change. But what we can do is take exceptional care of ourselves and help our own self, so this transformation doesn't floor us, or doesn't make it so we don't want to get up every day. So here is the snake, the year of the snake. So every time you see a snake, or symbolize, maybe a snake will be your animal guide this year, or you'll ask for an animal guide this year for a snake. Just know that it's Spirit's way of telling you that transformation is okay. There's also healing and growth and change in this, and it's beautiful. It can be beautiful every time. Every time a snake sheds its skin, it's beautiful. Also, too, when a rattlesnake sheds its skin, it gets new rattles every year on its tail, and that's how you can tell how old a rattlesnake is. So make the new rattles you get this year amazing. Make them awesome, because you are amazing, and it is time to step into your power. And yes, last year was crazy and hard, and this year started off crazy and hard. But you know what? Don't let that control you. Don't let that define you. There's this whole big collective thing and this whole big thing that we can't control, but what we can control is us. We can control how we accept it, or how we react to it, and what we do about it. And we can't save the world, but we can make a difference. And so just know that you're amazing, and this is going to be a year of growth and transformation, and those are the best years. They may be hard years, but they're the best. And I really don't know, I'm going to knock on wood, but honestly, last year was pretty tough, so I'm not really sure if it could get any. I'm not going to say it. I'm just not even going to say it. I'm not going to put it out there. This is going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a year of transforming, healing, growth, all the things. And those are things that are very kind of painful because they're not in your comfort zone, but it's beautiful. So just remember, anytime you see a snake this year, remind yourself it's the year of the snake. It's going to be awesome, and it is going to be a great year. So I hope that helps you guys. I love you guys so much. Next, always remember to watch my Cari Connects on my Instagram, or my Facebook or TikTok. I think I'm going to start showing up more on TikTok. I just haven't decided what that looks like. Lots of stuff that's coming out. I just haven't decided what it looks like. I think we're going to do more lives, more call-ins. And I know I always say this stuff, but I have to figure out what it looks like, because what I'm doing is I'm taking off more than I can chew, right? Because I'm still doing readings every single day. I'm still doing galleries, and I'm still doing classes, and I'm still doing group readings, but I am cutting back on the group readings because the group readings have caused me to be severely exhausted. I don't know why. The galleries don't. The galleries I can handle, and regular readings, but group readings, for some reason, I get so tired after those. So I am kind of scaling back on the group readings a little bit. If you are interested in a group reading, you can DM me or message me and ask if there's a time. But right now, I think I'm kind of filled up for the group readings for a little bit. I will be doing maybe one a month. I was doing them once a week and it's just too much. So what I'm saying is I've got to scale back some things so I can bring you other things because I can't do it all. I can't do groups and galleries and classes and 3 readings every day and lives and all of the stuff. It's just there's a lot, and this year is going to be the year of transformation. I'm going to figure out how to bring you that stuff, how to bring on help and retreats. There's like lots of people are running a retreat, which is awesome, and I want to do another retreat, but I got to find the time to go look at the place and find because I'm pretty picky about the retreats, and I want them to be like good. So just I know they're all coming, you guys. I promise they're all coming. I just am a one-man band right now, and I'm trying to figure out how to add more people onto that and get more help so I can bring all these things to you because I think it's awesome. So I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful for you. Grateful for you. That came out kind of great. Because I wouldn't be here without you. And I know that 100%. I know that. So I love you guys so much, and I really, really mean it. And I will see you guys next week.